this one's wife. Taylor, pick me. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Yet more evidence of the narcissism of this one's wife, showing various facets of how it operates, courtesy this time of a report from Geo News and the Geo News digital desk, which tells us this one's wife is reportedly hoping for a wedding invitation from Taylor Swift after the launch of her second season of With Love, Meghan was shadowed by the pop star's engagement announcement. That encapsulates the narcissist's sense of entitlement and belief that they deserve special treatment. First of all, the fact that Taylor Swift became engaged, she would not have been given an actual thought, a scintilla of a mote, of an iota of a thought about this one's wife and her shitty cooking program. It wouldn't have crossed her mind. Taylor Swift, one of the most successful pop stars, wouldn't think to herself, right, I've got engaged, but let's make sure the announcement is made so that it overshadows the launch of part 2 of series 1 of this one's wife's crappy lifestyle program. That is my absolute focus here. I'm not bothered about how many news agencies it reaches, just as long as we ensure that the news is launched on the day that this one's wife's cookery program takes place, because all I care about is overshadowing that woman. This demonstrates the self-absorbed nature of this one's wife, that she thinks a global superstar such as Taylor Swift would purposefully seek to overshadow her own cooking program. It's delusion. But this is the way that this one's wife's brain works. The evidence doesn't support it, but that doesn't matter to her, because the narcissism says, your program didn't fail because of you. It didn't fail because you're boring. It didn't fail because people ridicule you. It didn't fail because people don't like you. It failed because that biatch, Taylor Swift, purposefully ensured that her engagement occurred on your launch date. That's why it failed. Remember also that in an earlier video, this was apparently the fault of the British royal family. So which is it? Is it the British royal family that are trying to destroy her program and her? Or is it Taylor Swift trying to overshadow them? Notice the inherent contradiction that arises, unless, of course, the British royal family's reach is such that they rang the phone and said to Taylor Swift, oh, hello, Taylor, would you mind getting engaged to Travis Kelce? And while you're at it, could you ensure that you steal the spotlight from this one's wife by having your engagement announced on the day that her show starts? You don't mind doing that at all? Jolly good. Thank you so much. Please carry on. Yeah. Then again, in the deluded mind of this one's wife, she could well envisage such a scenario. Sources claim that the Duchess of Sussex was furious over Swift's fairy tale engagement news as the biggest celebrity news of the year eclipsed this one's wife's Netflix show after both things occurred the same day on August the 26th. Naturally, this one's wife is not going to like the fact that her program was eclipsed, because she has to be the big cheese. She has to be numero uno. All eyes must be on her. And when she is eclipsed, and easily so, by someone that has at least some degree of talent and produces music that is liked by many people around the world, the consequence is she's overshadowed. As you know, this one's wife sees no problem in stealing the thunder from other people, but she cannot stand it when it happens to her. The article continues by explaining that this one's wife had been working for months. Her definition of working is somewhat different from everybody else's. She'd been working for months to relaunch herself as the queen of lifestyle and empowerment. And then Taylor casually drops the biggest celebrity news of the year, a source told the outlet. This one's wife was raging behind closed doors that her headlines were stolen by the singer. But she still liked Taylor's post to look gracious, facade management. It was through gritted teeth, no question. Moreover, this one's wife is desperate to be at Swift's wedding, as this is the kind of event that cements your place in the A-list hierarchy. Of course, nothing to do with whether she's friends with Taylor Swift, but all about what it does for her. However, if she's snubbed, she'll take it as a personal insult. Well, of course she will. She's already saying it would be a shame if certain people try to keep her out, which is this one's wife speak for she's gearing up to be angry. First of all, the self-absorbed delusion of this one's wife causes her to believe that Taylor Swift purposefully announced her engagement on the day that her shitty lifestyle show was launched as part 2 of Series 1. That is deluded. But moreover, it gets worse, because in the mind of this one's wife, she believes that she should then be invited to the wedding as an almost, sorry I overshadowed your shitty lifestyle show, here, have a wedding invitation. It's that kind of entitlement that many of you may well have witnessed when dealing with narcissists yourselves. That the narcissist in a personal relationship deems some personal slight that actually hasn't occurred to merit that you then have to do something for them. You'll commonly find this in relation to individuals that turn up at stores, at places that provide goods and services, demanding that they're given something for some perceived slight. You didn't do this for me, therefore you should give me that. And these individuals are hugely problematic for people in the retail industry, often earning themselves the title of a Karen. See my video about the Karens to understand what's truly going on in relation to that classification of person. But it's another example of this one's wife's narcissism, that she believes that Taylor Swift bothered her backside to deliberately overshadow her, as if Taylor Swift would actually care. It shows again how she cannot stick to one narrative. 1 minute it's the British royal family that are trying to destroy her programme, then it's Taylor Swift overshadowing her. And furthermore, she then believes that this should ensure that she's invited to the wedding, not because she's friends with Taylor Swift, not because she cares about Taylor Swift, but because, well, she ought to get an invite because she's been slighted by Taylor Swift, and of course, getting an invite is recognition of her supposed A-list status, which nobody believes except herself. This short article contains so many aspects of this one's wife's narcissism. The paranoia that Taylor Swift was set to try and do down her show, the sense of entitlement with regard to believing that Taylor Swift would be that interested to take such action, the blame shifting, whereby the failure for the show is as a consequence of the failings of this one's wife, but she tries to put it on Taylor Swift instead, the out-and-out delusion that she believes that she ought to be receiving some form of compensation as a consequence of the poor behaviour of Taylor Swift. It's fascinating to see her behaviour in action, and once again, by understanding that it's her narcissism, you know truly why she behaves the way that she does. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.